it was quite tough. And the ignorance of individuals trying to cover up from their bad behaviours with further offences against women and children's rights is a huge concern. So I'm just raising the same issues as I've raised for the past 3 years. And the pertinent issue is the issue of my correspondence being interfered with. My correspondence has been withheld from me. There's been information withheld from me. And there have been doctors damaging my health and my child since 2016. There are individuals on my farm holdings and laying claim to work that they have no right to. So the spiritual cleansing was quite exhausting and dangerous, but beneficial far and wide. And there have been many people reap the benefits of my good work. And I am being insulted and offended still in my hometown and country in 2021. To accommodate frauds that are repeat offenders whose offences go back to 2006. So I'm really curious what intelligent women feel about this situation for a mother whose child was taken in an emergency care order. He wasn't abandoned, abused, or deprived, perfectly cared for. And the spurious claims of individuals that had no interaction and that have lied through their teeth when they did have any little bit of interaction is all what I'm contending with. There wasn't a just or fair trial. There was no mental illness. So what does that say for women and children's rights and justice and law and order when fraud is still occurring and when offenders are supporting directly or indirectly abuses against women and children? The avoidance tactics are quite serious and insulting. So this issue's ongoing. 2017, I'm waiting for my child and the issue they caused for him to be resolved. There were nights my child cried incessantly because of the taunting and haunting and tormentation he was experiencing due to liabilities in society that are newly reformed. They're newly reformed and they are of slander and defamation, and they're getting off scot-free. They taunted my child and traumatized him. They damaged his bodily integrity. And the relevant agencies and establishments withheld my child from my best care. They did not protect my son. They have no right to withhold my son. And there are individuals in my proximity that are insulting my royal patronage. So as I'm of ancestry that's quite nice, quite pleasant, quite astounding, I've O'Regan and O'Higgins and O'Connor, and I have Fernan. I'm French, Spanish bloodline, Russian bloodline, and doctors that have damaged my health, have damaged their reputation and credentials, their Hippocratic oath, their obligations. And it's really insulting to women and children. As for the issue of social housing, while culprits are on my marital property, it's really serious. And people not fulfilling their obligations, withholding information and thinking it's a laughing matter. I don't know if they would be laughing if it was happening to them, if their children were destroyed needlessly. That's not a laughing matter, and anyone that would think so, I have really huge concerns for them. As for women supporting sexual assault, I've huge concerns about that as well. And any damages to women's bodies needlessly, that's a serious matter also. So this upload is just a continuation of reiteration. There's been substantial falsification, and there's been huge obstructions due to frauds reappearing and raising their heads when they should be burying their heads in a hiding place far from a situation where they've caused an awful, outrageous disgrace. But that isn't happening. There are offences being tolerated. So, royal patronage is being disrespected, identity theft is occurring, and very smart individuals are amused with abuses against humanity, while they're stealing wealth and property from a qualified individual, professional. As I'm of societal and legislative developments, I'd like to know the government's opinion. As I'm of a clean track record, I'd like to know the government's opinion also with regard to slander and defamation. I'd also like to know the government's opinion with regard to unlawful care orders and the harms and abuses my child suffered. I'd also like to know the government's opinion with regard to respecting my royal patronage. My maternal bloodline is quite interesting. I'd also like to know the opinion of the government with regard to health and well-being and recovery fellowships, work and humanitarian work being respected and regarded highly in society when people's lives have been saved. I'm curious why I haven't heard from the relevant agencies and establishments, and who's going to the lengths to obstruct when causing further casualties, having damaged sacred. So there's climate change issues, there's environmental issues, there's all sorts of societal issues. A universal light worker has been damaged in Tralee, County Kerry, Ireland, and there are people thinking it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny that there are people that owe debts and they're not paying their debts. And that's since 2006. I don't think it's funny to disrespect matrimony. And I don't think it's funny to bargain or negotiate royal patronage and bloodline. So, there's huge offences going on that I'm tolerating. Information has been withheld and there's disinformation being provided. And there are very mentally disturbed individuals thinking it's all a very funny situation. I have huge questions about people's faith. I wonder who they're praying to after abusing faith for so long. This is an upload for the relevant agencies and establishments to safeguard women and children. As I've mentioned, my son is unlawfully withheld from me and he is to be placed immediately in my care. My matrimony has been disrespected and I'm still a married mother. People on my farm holdings in Ardfert and Kilflynn are not welcome, where they have disrespected and damaged and caused defamation. A collective insulting human rights and the Constitution in Tralee, County Kerry, with changing names and places and dates and falsifying paperwork and transacting unlawful actions when damaging the environment and society, and disrespecting the judiciary while withholding a child from his mother are all a big, huge burden of a cross for any country of saints and scholars to be carrying. And there have been casualties. I only know too well. Since 2016, 2017, when these people were spiritually vile. That's the polite way to describe it. My body was damaged very severely. Royal patronage was damaged. And there's identity theft occurring. So there are some things that just aren't able to be negotiated when it comes to women and children. And those that think this is funny, I hope they have had their heads checked or minds checked to make sure that everyone is on a rational keel, thinking straight with regard to the offences occurring and the casualties caused. As regards the debts I'm owed, I'd appreciate the relevant agencies looking into the fraudulence occurring. I'm very concerned about mental health these days, and I'm very concerned about spiritual villainy. I don't think it's very sensible to be disrespecting faith or higher powers or anything of the sort. So those that haven't done their penance for the past 3 years, that are repeat offenders and that think this is an amusing situation, I'd like them to check their minds and have an assessment of the situation before they cause any more casualties. The casualties have been horrendous in the past 3 years. So I hope the relevant agencies are aware of the whistleblower protection laws and royal patronage and international protection. And I hope they don't think it's funny to be insulting women and children's rights when masquerading themselves as intelligent human beings.